officers, here's something revolutionary. How would you like to have a downline that's actually designed to pay you?
I know this sounds crazy.
That shouldn't sound crazy, but it kind of is. You want to speak with my friends over at CapDirect. You're going to get the most aggressive rates, the most aggressive comp plan, and a downline that actually pays you. Fill out the information down below and let's have a discreet conversation about this, shall we? Looking forward to it. Now on with the show.
Haste makes waste.
So Jonathan Haddad is the new head of AIME, replacing Katie Sweeney, who's now running the Broker Action Coalition and vying for those AIME dollars, isn't she, Katie Sweeney? Jonathan said in an open letter to everybody over there who gives them money at AIME that he is committed to dealing with AIME's questions head on. Here's a question I have. Is Katie stepping down in March because that's exactly when AIME's 2023 taxes are going to be public? And Jonathan, what's on those taxes, Jonathan? I want to know what's on those taxes. In particular, I'm a little bit curious what Katie and the other two and only voting blocks at AIME received as income. Is this a coincidence that this is happening in March, or did Katie stick her hand right back into that AIME cookie jar and pull out even more money than the near $500,000 she took in 2022? That's the question I want.
Now, with respect to trigger leads, John Haddad said, when it comes to credit triggers, I will tell you that it is the environment I grew up in, being on the retail space for as long as I was. However, I am for, and I will say this multiple times, I am for the banning of credit triggers.
Anyways, the whole trigger lead thing, nothing like tugging on the old heartstrings a little bit there, Jonathan. You know, of our loan officers, because nobody likes these trigger lead things. Everybody's talking about it. NAM's been working on this for 30 years. I asked the very reasonable question, after 30 years, are you really working on it, or are we just living with trigger leads? Anyways, you are tugging on the heartstrings. This very much like wholesale lenders from yesteryear. It's kind of what it reminds me of. Remember when there was a handful of brokers that are now the Katie Sweeney owned Brokers Are Better, or parts of AIME got some wholesale lenders who have retail divisions to quit reaching out to clients that you placed with their wholesale division. You call that wholesale lenders, which just means, by the way, that those wholesale lenders are going to hit up other brokers that aren't using them, and wholesale lenders that you're not using, well, they're just going to hit up your clients. Meaning after all of that sound and fury and arm twisting with wholesale lenders, it really signified absolutely nothing. I've always said the only way for you to keep your clients is to earn their business through hard work, but what do I know?
Perfect. AIME, get rid of your trigger leads. Hell, you might actually even get all wholesale lenders to stop doing this. God knows they hate it. They don't want to spend the money. They don't want to piss off clients or the credit bureaus or the representatives that are against trigger leads. Wholesale lenders would love if you could organize an all-at-once wholesale abandonment of trigger leads. Yay!
And if we can stop right there, you can just pop the champagne, because you just scored a victory over there, John. But the problem is, you didn't. When you do this, you see, those trigger leads, they're now all going to go to independent mortgage banking loan officers. Your competition is brokers. The quality of the lead is going to improve, and they'll be the sole recipient of all of those fantastic trigger leads. Gone from wholesale, you can do it, yeah. Gone from the industry, not a snowball's chance in hell, John. But keep talking about it, because most loan officers won't even do a cursory investigation I just did. They'll just believe you and keep sending you money, which after all, that's really kind of what this whole thing's all about, isn't it? And oh yeah, Joanna had this great point on trigger leads, but I'm gonna let her explain this one. Are you ready?
So I bought my first house 20 some odd years ago, and not one time has a local lender that I actually did business with tell me that it's time to refi. And believe me, I went through a few of those markets, and lucky for me, I figured out I needed to refi, and I went and seeked someone out. So I don't know if trigger leads are really a terrible thing, because if you are not going to make the call and tell me that it's time to refi, maybe that call from Rocket or UWM is welcome in my household. Off my soapbox and moving on. Considering AIME members don't have any say as to the direction of AIME, what they advocate for, or even how they spend their, their money.
But you might be able to get rid of some of those trigger leads, guys. And finally, you heard it. Fairway is out of the wholesale game. For all of you who hated Fairway because they're big, they are successful, and they were competition for United Wholesale Mortgage, this is your chance to pop the bubbly and celebrate because you did it. You actually took a viable option off the table for every other broker out there who disagrees with your very narrow definition of what a broker is in the first place. Hey, I just thought of this. Speaking of wholesale lenders, let's close our eyes right now and think of how companies conduct themselves. You doing this? Yeah. Now ask yourself, who's truly the biggest wholesale lender in the industry? That's a question, not a statement. But here's a hint. They're not the biggest advocate for brokers out there. For that, my friends, we need walkers and not talkers. And I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps. Make it a great day, guys.